Transgender women are not women. They are males that aspire to be women and would like to identify with women. Simple as that. I think in this day and time, people have gotten so delusional and used to just making wild statements and getting people to believe them. And if anyone disagrees with your new thoughts and ways of thinking, they are canceled or called hateful or some type of phobic. But facts are facts, and my statement is not hateful, transphobic, or any other thing that people might try to call it. Your gender, sex, etc. is not assigned by your doctor. It is assigned by nature, and that is inevitable. Your doctor does not assign you to a gender. The doctor simply acknowledges and recognizes your gender based off of the genitalia that is present. Humans can assign seats. Humans can assign you to a team, but we literally can't and don't assign gender, and that's a fact. If you look up the definition of a woman is an adult female human being. And what is the definition of a female, you may ask? Of or denoting the sex that can bear offspring or produce eggs, distinguished biologically by the production of gametes that can be fertilized by male gametes. I mean, these are facts that we have known since the beginning of time, and it's sad that I have to even say these things, but people are making outrageous false claims, and it seems like that has become the status quo. If you are a man, you are a male, with XY chromosomes, and there is nothing you can do to make you female. Your body is not programmed for that, and that is okay. And if you get your genitalia physically altered, that does not matter either. That is not a vagina. It does not menstruate, it can't and never will deliver children, and it can't do all the other things a vagina can do because it's man-made, it's fake. Now, to some people's opinion, it may look and resemble and be very similar to a vagina. And some people may even naively think it feels like one. But it is not real. It's just like a Beyonce wax figure. It may look like her to the T, but it is not her. The same goes for quote-unquote transgender men or women that aspire to be men. No matter how much testosterone you take, no matter how deep your voice gets, and any other thing you think that makes you a man, you will always be a female. And that is okay. You will never create sperm and ejaculate and impregnate a woman. You will always have XX chromosomes, making you a female. It's sad that these things have to be explained. Just because you want and aspire to be something, that does not mean you can just be it. And that is the problem with this generation. And I have no problem with people aspiring or being influenced by the other sex/gender. But what my problem is with is people trying to redefine what it is to be a man or a woman when we already know the facts from birth. And people trying to identify fully with someone else's culture that does not belong to them. And I've noticed there's a double standard between people identifying with the culture of race and people identifying with the culture of gender. If, let's say, Kim Kardashian or Miley Cyrus simply wears braids, they're not saying they're black because they wear braids, they just like the style. We try and cancel them and say they are appropriating black culture and should be stopped. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but if Laverne Cox says I was born a male, then puts on lipstick, a wig, and a dress and gets surgery to look like a woman and says I am a woman just like any woman who was born a female, we do nothing and say that is acceptable. And I think that is so backwards to me. We will let someone from a different gender literally identify with and try to define a gender that is literally not theirs and say nothing, but we don't allow people of different races to identify with the different race. And even wearing something as simple as braids or gold chains. And I'm not saying that cultural appropriation is okay. It's not. I'm just saying we should treat all appropriation as appropriation and not pick and choose who we criticize and correct based off of their decisions. Women go through so much just to be a woman, and it is so disrespectful for a man who just seen the makeup, the hair, the fashion, etc., and is feminine to try to take that and redefine what it is to be a woman. That is literally misogyny within itself. Women are constantly disrespected, harmed, and neglected just for being born a woman, just like how black people have been disrespected and bashed for ages to this day. And because of that, you can't identify with black culture if you aren't black because you haven't been through the things that they have been through. Women are literally the sacrifice to human nature, and not in a bad way. There will be no man without a woman. Women create every human life. Without the woman, there will be no human nature. Women are literally gods. And if you are a male, just stay in your place and admire and be influenced, but don't say that you are them. It is delusional and disrespectful. And another thing, gender and sex are not social constructs. The social constructs are the expectations that are made of rules for what we think women and men are supposed to be. Example, women are supposed to cook and clean. That is a social construct. Women are weak and are meant to stay at home. That's a social construct. Men can't cry. Social construct. Men are aggressive and can't be feminine. Those are social constructs. But nature is not a social construct. Penises and vaginas are not social constructs. Social constructs bend with the time and environments of humans, but nature stays one and true. Women have and will always bear children, and men will always impregnate the woman. Simple. And yes, men can be feminine and women can be masculine, but that does not make someone the opposite gender. In conclusion, if more people just accepted themselves for what they are, we would not be having these issues. If more feminine men that are influenced and admire women just recognize themselves as inspired and influenced and admired of women, then it will just be simple as that. Instead of trying to be a woman and redefine what it is to be a woman, we will be so much more peaceful. Women are women and men are men, and those are birthrights. It will never change, and that is okay.